is Fernanda and I'm going to be talking about the contributions of chemistry in medicine. Well, a medicine is often a mixture of several chemical compounds. Chemistry, the science related to the chemical substances, provides us tools to make and study the substances that are the constituents of almost all medicines. Many chemical compounds have been discovered in nature that are effective for curing diseases. Modern chemistry has also made it possible to synthesize several medicines using methods of organic chemistry.
As in medicine, chemistry has also many applications in food. The food chemistry is the study of chemical processes and interactions of all biological and non-biological components of foods. The biological substances include such items as meat, poultry, lettuce, beer, and milk as examples. It is similar to biochemistry in its main components such as carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, but it also includes areas such as water, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, food additives, flavors, and colors. Food chemists develop and improve foods and beverages, analyze methods of cooking, canning, freezing, and packaging, and study the effect of processing on their appearance, taste, aroma, freshness, and vitamin content of the food. And food chemistry also uses analytical techniques to study the chemical components of food items in order to detect the nutritional and non-nutritional compounds, including the constituent amino acids, fatty acids, and carbohydrates.
Chemical and biological warfare, compared to other weapons of mass destruction, have seen very little use. The potential threat of chemical and biological warfare is terrifying. Blinded, disoriented, clutching your chest, gasping for breath, drowning in mucous fluids pouring from the lungs, choking to death. Chemical and biological warfare is silent, invisible, pervasive, and deadly. You may not be able to hide from it. Chemical warfare. Agents use poison that kill, injure, or incapacitate. Chemical warfare agents can be gases or liquids, or more commonly, dispersed aerosols. Biological warfare. Agents use living bacteria, Bacillus anthracis, the causative agents of anthrax, or viruses, the virus that cause smallpox.
Hello, my name is Ana Karen Aldape and I'm going to explain you about the chemistry in global warming, especially the chemistry in climate change and its impact on the ocean. Climate change has a big impact worldwide, like in the polar ice melting or droughts, etc. But in this case, I'm going to talk about the ocean chemistry. The acidification of the oceans due to climate changes. Acidification occurs when the oceans absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. Here's how this works. The ocean has dissolved inorganic carbon in three forms: most as bicarbonate, a little bit as carbonate, and a very tiny part as carbon dioxide, or CO2. As more CO2 from the atmosphere dissolves into the ocean, it changes the relative proportion of these three, making the water more acidic. Especially, it reduces the concentration of carbonate ions in surface ocean water by 10%, compared with the pre-industrial levels. Some research shows that if atmospheric concentration of CO2 reach 520 parts per million, we are at 382 per million now, and 520 per million is plausible by mid-century. Most of the coral species living in warm oceans waters could certainly support further growth, such as species that have larvae that respond negatively to higher oceans acidity. And it can be very dangerous for the species who live there and the people who live close to the oceans. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alexa Gomez and I'm gonna talk to you about the 3 best possible solutions to stop the melting of the polar ice caps, which are a threat to Mexico's weather. Well, my first solution is an individual project, is planting a tree by person. That is because the greenhouse effect and all that stuff leads to the global warming, and the global warming eventually leads to the melting of the polar ice caps. So if we plant a tree, we can help contributing to avoid the greenhouse effect gases, so that eventually will help to the global warming, and that would help to the melting of the polar ice caps. And to do this, we don't have to make it like a country project. It's not anything difficult. We can make it as a family thing, or like improving it in schools, and that will make like the project bigger, and that will help a lot. So as the second solution, I propose keeping our cars well maintained. This means changing the oil of the cars and giving them the required attention they need, because a car in a bad state produces a lot of contaminating gases. So those gases go directly to the atmosphere and cause the greenhouse effect. So the greenhouse effect causes the global warming, and the global warming eventually leads to the melting of the polar ice caps. So keeping our cars well maintained help a lot to the environment, even if we use them like a lot. Another solution, like within this solution, would be stop using the car so much and walking or biking sometimes. So the third and final solution I propose is stopping deforestation, because tropical deforestation accounts for about 10% of the world's heat-trapping emissions. That is a lot of emissions of heat caused because we just don't want trees to stay in their natural environment, because we want to make furniture and all that stuff that are made with wood. So reducing the tropical deforestation can significantly lower global warming emissions. So if we lower global warming emissions, we obviously help contributing to the melting of the polar ice caps solution. So yeah, those are the easiest solutions I found, and they can be applied by every single person without making it like a big project.